Alrighty, everybody. So we are in Google Labs. We are looking at some of their experiments. They announced a new one called Little Language Lessons, and this is a collection of bite-sized learning experiments built with Gemini. So we're going to go ahead and try it now. There are 3 components to this one, so let's get through these. And this is the first page, and you do have to sign in, which I forgot, so I probably should have done this part first. All right, and it just reminds you that it's an early stage experiment. Although its attempt is to help with language learners, it uses generative AI, and the outputs may not always be accurate or complete, and they do recommend cross-referencing with reliable sources. And I understand. So basically it's saying there's still room for error. Please don't get frustrated. And check on what you learned. So do a little extra due diligence. All right, so here's the page. Little Language Lessons, collection of bite size, blah, blah, blah. And then you see 3 experiments. You see these first 2, which is Tiny Lesson, SlangHang, and WordCam. And so we're going to go through each one of them. And so Tiny Lesson is just finding a little bit about vocabulary, phrases, grammar tips for any situation. We're going to hit try now. And what you get is you choose your language. And so we will choose German. And then the purpose or the theme. So here you can put down a certain scenario. And I think I did a grocery store earlier. So we will do that. And then you hit the Generate Gemini button. And this is what you get. You have 3 categories when you're in here: vocabulary, phrases, and tips. Up here is the scenario that you gave it. If you want to edit it, you just click on this little guy right here and you can edit it. And then you can hit generate and it will create a new scenario. And let's see. So let's go ahead and hit generate again. And then you can close it out completely if you want. All right. So since this is highlighted blue, we are in the vocabulary section. It gives you 4 examples and then you can click see more. So here you go. You got the supermarket, the checkout or the till, the shopping cart, the offer. So let's listen to one.
Der Einkaufswagen. Der Einkaufswagen.
Okay, and then if you want to see more, you just hit see more. But if you want to go to phrases, you can either scroll down or you can just hit phrases and it'll bring you to phrases, almost. And then you got more phrases like where can I find the bread? How much does this cost?
Wie viel kostet das?
And then if you don't see what you are looking for, or if you want to learn a little bit more, you can hit see more and it populates a few more. So this populated 5 more. And here's one that says thank you.
Das ist alles. Danke.
And then you can hit see less. And then you can go to tips. And then tips tell you asking for something politely uses subjunctive to, and it explains it to you. And then it gives you a couple examples again. Could you please help me?
Könnten Sie mir bitte helfen?
Awesome. And then so now when you're done, you can hit the close, you can hit refresh to get more phrases, or you can go ahead and go home and get to the second experiment. And SlangHang is the second experiment. This is where you learn expressions, idioms, some of the regional slang from a generated conversation. So Google creates the scenario and the conversation, and then it helps you try to learn from it. So we're going to go ahead and hit try it. I will tell you, though, that SlangHang is the one that seems to hang up sometimes, ironically, hang. And then what happens is if it hangs up and it says, oops, there's something going on, just hit refresh, and it seems to work. I've only had to hit refresh once every time it has hung up. So SlangHang again. Learn expressions, idioms, and regional slang, blah, 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 and pick your language. And so we're going to go ahead and pick German again. And there are dialects that you can pick. You don't have to, but if you hit the down arrow, you'll see the different options. And so we'll just stick with Germany. And then we're going to select the Generate Gemini button again. And this is where sometimes it'll hang up. You just hit refresh. And then it gives you a scenario. And for this scenario, it says 2 strangers, Frau Schmidt and Herr Klein, find themselves unexpectedly sharing a taxi in Berlin after a sudden downpour disrupts public transport. They are both headed in roughly the same direction towards the city center after attending separate events on the outskirts. And then here gives you the name of the person who's speaking, Frau Schmidt, and tells you in writing what they're going to say. And
Entschuldigen Sie, ist hier noch frei?
All right, and so then it gives you that. And then normally it will give you another scenario. And this, when you click on that, it explains it to you. And then you hit the space bar. Press the space to continue. And then it gives you the next person's comments or follow-up. And then notice that on this particular one, so you'll see some words underlined. So let's hear it first.
Aber natürlich, bitte sehr. Das Wetter ist ja ein Wahnsinn, oder?
And then let's click on the underline or hover over it. And it says, bitte share. Share is a polite and welcoming phrase. Literally, please much, but it's used as an invitation, like go ahead or please do. And then you can click on the translate icon, and it will tell you basically what they said. Of course, please. The weather is amazing, isn't it? So let's hit space. I'm going to click on this and see what happens. So you can click on it too. You don't have to hit space. And then again, it tells you Frau Schmidt is talking again. And then two phrases are underlined. So Alderlings, an empathetic agreement meaning indeed or absolutely. And now I'm not even going to try this one. This one is an adjective describing someone who is soaked to the bone. And let's listen to Frau Schmidt.
Allerdings. Ich dachte, ich schaffe es nie zur Bushaltestelle. Bin klatschnass geworden.
Alrighty. So you cannot edit the slang hang, but you can refresh it to get another scenario. And then you get another scenario. Now, to go back, you can close this, and it brings you to slang hang, or you can hit the home button, and it brings you to all three experiments. So we have the third one last. And so the third one is WordCam. And basically what it is it snaps a photo to learn how to speak about your surroundings. So let's go ahead. I tried to set up a few pieces of items to see if I can get it. So I'm going to try to line it up a little bit. And so this one would actually be really good in an app on your phone. All right, so you do the same thing. You have to snap a photo, but you have to choose your language. So we're going to stick with German. And then it says open your camera. It does not give you a preview option, so not the end of the world, but sometimes it's nice to be able to frame it first. And then so I'm going to allow with visiting this thing. And then so let's bring it down so you can see how hard it is. And I'm going to hit that. And now what it's going to do is going to take a picture of everything that it sees. And it's going to label them. And so you see the mouse pad, you see the remote, you see the mini cube, and you see the remote. And so we are going to click on the remote. And then you click on this, you can hear how it sounds.
Der Fernbedienung.
All right, you can retake the photo, and then here's some phrases that will help you maybe describe it. And then so notice here is a practical description. I find it very practical to have remote control with direct access to Netflix. Handy. This remote control is very handy and fits in the hand.
Diese Fernbedienung ist sehr handlich und liegt gut in der Hand.
And then this one is a color. I'm looking for a remote control that isn't black.
Ich suche eine Fernbedienung, die nicht schwarz ist, damit ich sie leichter finde.
And then you can refresh it and find other ways to describe it. And notice it's kind of blurry, but it still did it. And then I am on my laptop, so it's kind of a little difficult to take a picture. But this one would be awesome in an app. All right, so anyway, so this is kind of the way it works. And again, if you want to finish up at the home page of the Little Language Lessons, here it is. So there are 3 experiments: Tiny Lesson, Slang Hang, and WordCam. I hope this helps you. Thank you. Bye-bye.